Hello, everyone. Welcome back to GameSpot's coverage of E3 2018. We are rolling through all these amazing demos. I'm Mike Mahardy. I'm going to be here all week with Lucy James.
Hey.
And if you're just joining us, we got to check out a couple games already, Dying Light 2 and Spider-Man. And now, something I'm excited for as well, we're going to check out Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We're here with Jonathan Dumont from the team.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Good. So you've shown Assassin's Creed twice now in press conferences. What's that? Ubisoft? And then, or maybe I'm just thinking of
No, we just showed it at the Ubisoft conference yesterday, and that with our big reveal of the game.
Yeah. So what's it like showing it off now?
Oh man, it was cool to be on the stage and represent what the team has been working on. We've been working on it for 3 years, really intensively. And man, it felt great to come out there and just show it to the world.
So this is the team that worked on Syndicate? And
it's similar. Most of the team is the team from Syndicate, but we, also have other studios that helps us around the world. 9 studios across the world that help us make these big, fantastic games.
So I'm sure we're about to dive into like nitty-gritty stuff with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm curious. Obviously, there was a year off in the release cycle before Origins came out. What's it like? Was there any hesitation on the team's part on Ubisoft, or did you know right when Origins came out, you're like, we have our energy back, we're ready to start going yearly?
Well, we've been working on it for 3 years, so at the same time as Origins, so we knew what they were doing.
Right.
We were on board with what they were doing. It was an amazing game. Origins was great, and then the layer that we're putting on top of it is just like pushes it into a big RPG, pushing choice at the center of the experience, really taking you into a fabulous Odyssey into ancient Greece. So ancient Greece being an amazing setting for Assassin's Creed. So
what made you choose ancient Greece?
We chose ancient Greece, yes. We chose it because it is a wonderful cultural background, and we learned quite a bit about philosophy, democracy, and all those things. And at the same time, you have culture on one side and the Peloponnesian War on the other side, which is perfect for us if you want to explore the world as a mercenary. Choice being at the center of the game, we want you to conduct your own moral code in that game. So you choose to be good or bad, or compassionate, or a little bit of a douche at the same time. So you can do all of that.
So can you talk about how you're pushing really hard into RPG territory? You were just telling us before the show that you worked for 7 years on World of Warcraft.
Yes.
There's a lot of RPG influence. Origins slowly started to introduce that, but it sounds like Odyssey is just going all out on the RPG.
Yeah, so there's a base from Origin, but we're pushing it much further. So just the gear system. The gear system is you have 5 pieces of gear you can assemble. They all have stats depending on what your specialization that you want to do. Over top of that, we can engrave special abilities on top of those weapons and gear slots. And we have put on top of the combat a totally new way of customizing your playstyle. So you map your own abilities to create your own fight playstyle, or stealth playstyle, or marksman playstyle. And the other thing that we did put in is dialogue. So your journey is based on your choices, and yes, you'll get an epic, tragic, big story, and then you'll make choices that will give you different endings and different relationships with characters as well.
What I like is that it's not explicit. You don't really know the consequences of your choices immediately, and some of the gameplay stuff I've been watching is like it can feed back way later when you're not expecting it.
Sometimes. So sometimes you have short term, medium term, long term. So you can have I'll give you an example. This person wants you to get a sword, and you find the sword, and you come back and say, "Did you find the sword?" They say, you can have the lie options. No, I didn't find it, and then you keep it for yourself.
Right.
There could be an immediate consequence for that. Or you give it back and then you get a big reward, or the medium term, putting in not points, but stake into relationships and see where those goes, and then big impacts to the end of the games, which I won't spoil here. So
what were some games you looked at for that kind of inspiration? I mean, obviously that's been a pillar of RPGs since RPGs were a thing, but our friend Michael, when he went up to play the game, he came back saying, it reminded me of The Witcher in the way that Lucy was describing, almost like these unforeseen consequences that will just pop up later when you're least expecting it. I don't know, did you look at The Witcher, or what kind of recent RPGs did you?
We played a bunch of games because we're game fans like everybody, so we get inspired by everything. There's not one specific game that we looked at and said, we want to do that. We wanted to do our own Assassin's Creed RPG.
Yeah.
But the thing with the choices is we don't want to overwhelm the players with choices, but have a fun experience, just giving them tough choices, things to think about, and then the consequences can surprise you, or you can anticipate them. So that's really what we wanted to do.
I'm also curious how Origins was, the earliest in the chronology last year when it released, but Odyssey is going before that.
We are.
So people are curious, like maybe this is telling the Templar origin story, or how are you like making an Assassin's Creed game if it's supposedly before the Assassin's origins?
The thing is, our franchise has many things to explore. The first thing is history, right? History has always been something that we take care of and really research when we're doing our games. The other leverage we have is the continuation of a present-day story, so it is a continuation of Origins in the present day. And our brand has First Civilization, which are explanations through the gods and stuff like that, and we really tapped into that for our game. So we don't have Templar necessarily and Assassins, but we do have that at the foundation, that battle between chaos and order, or freedom and order. That is at the heart of the game as well. And reflecting on Greece. People question everything. Socrates is a little bit of pain in the ass as well in the game. So putting that into that, I want to think about this order and chaos for myself and sort of steer it where you want to go. So it is a perfect setting to explore those concepts with choice at the heart.
So obviously, as is key to Assassin's Creed games, you have to have the historical figures. We've grown to love so many of them because they've been reinterpreted for the games. Who are the big names that we'll be seeing in Odyssey?
So I'm not going to talk about all of them because there's some that are pretty surprising. The cool thing is that since we switched to a dialogue system, it allows us to not just have like 4 or 5 hours of cinematic, but go for 30 hours of interactive dialogue. So you can have deep dives with Socrates, Pericles, Hippocrates, the founder of medicine. So modern medicine existed, but found. So it allows you to really have relationships with those characters that you couldn't do before.
Right.
So we can spend a lot more time. There are other historical characters. There's a few surprises that I'm not going to talk about because you're going to say, whoa, that's really cool. But really thinking about what is classical Greece, ancient Greece for Assassin's Creed.
So we're watching naval combat right now, and we were just mentioning when I first heard about the game and I saw it on Ubisoft's conference, I was thinking to myself, this looks like they took Origins and Black Flag and meshed them in a really awesome way. Does that hold any weight?
Well, it was not the intention, but looking at the Aegean Sea, and we want you to live a tragic odyssey through through ancient Greece. The boat is the thing, right? So. It has the similar things as Black Flag in the sense that you can upgrade your ship, you can customize your ship, but it is Greek warfare, so ramming, cleaving, shooting arrows, fires, torches. You can also board, and then the biggest difference with us is that your crew, you can be recruited through the world. Pretty much everybody in the game is recruitable. So you can customize your crew by, that guy's super strong. And you sneak up and then you put him down and then give him a second chance. Say, come on, man, you can join my crew. So you can have your own unique crew. You can be playing the game, for hundreds of hours and then have different feelings. In the game.
Are they going to be shanties, though?
There are songs on the boat. So.
Thank God.
And they're all in ancient Greek, so it's really cool.
Amazing.
And we do have a few things that I'm not going to say it. There's some cool stuff.
So the fact that it's a role-playing game, obviously there's a lot of focus on who the next protagonist is going to be in Assassin's Creed games. Now you have Alexios and Cassandra.
Yes.
What's it like writing protagonists for an RPG as opposed to like this heavily scripted traditional Assassin's Creed?
So they do have a personality. They're
Yeah.
not an empty bucket that we, just make your own adventure with them.
Yeah.
So they do have a personality. They're Spartan. They're, they're tough and everything. But the approach is different because we want to, if there's questions, we want the player to answer those questions through their character. So it's really a different way of writing. We staffed up our big team of writers and we iterated on it so that we do get a good feeling about it. But it's really making, when you do have a decision to make, setting it up in the writing, sometimes it's tough, but it's really an art to now make a choice.
Yeah.
But also with having the choices with Alexios and Cassandra, we wanted them to be able to express themselves as lying, romance option as well, so that you write those things, and if the characters, the players are interested, they can dive into that as well. So.
I was going to say, let's talk a little bit about romance options, because that's brand new and very exciting. So what's it going to be like? Is it going to be immediately apparent which characters you can and can't romance? What are the branches going to be like? Is there like a definitive relationship status that you get into?
No, it's more of a handful of romanceable characters.
Right.
So you'll figure it out, fairly quickly when you say, okay, that person is.
They were flirting with me. I got it.
And then like some relationships are short term, just like real life, and then some are a little bit medium term. So it's much more of a fun adventure, and then you never know what you're going to find on an island in a region. So you're going to find people that are interested in you, and then it's up to you to decide.
What were some of the core pillars that you went into Odyssey? Like, Assassin's Creed obviously is a long-running franchise since, 2007, 2006? It's escaping me right now, but what were some of the pillars of Assassin's Creed you knew you wanted to keep intact? Outside of like bringing it into RPG territory? Intact,
well, there's quite a bit. If you played Origin, you're going to see that we still have stealth, and we really put a lot of stuff on stealth, new abilities on stealth, and refine some of the mechanics. We like the long range that was established in Origin as well. The combat is the base combat that we put a lot on top, but you can recognize those pillars. Navigation, of course, and then if you take a look at what we've done with Naval, you can feel that experience through Naval as well. History has always been at